Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Well, last time we discussed the first paragraph of this story, and we also talked about Louisa May Alcott. She's an American author. I told you the difference between neighbor and neighbor, BOR and BOUR. And we even discussed the first part of the story. We will recapitulate and continue with the rest of the part today. Being neighborly. Listen carefully. What in the world are you going to do now? The word what in the world, what the hell, these kind of expressions are used for the sake of emphasis. Okay, so she came tramping through, means she came walking walking through the hall, stamping her legs through the hall in rubber boots, old sack, that is infant short jacket and hood. Infant short jacket and hood. A jacket with hood, some jackets have the cap that you can keep on your head. So that is called as sack. So boots, old sack and hood. The snake also has hood, right? But the hood of your jacket is one that you put on your head. Okay. So hood, the part a cap of the cap that is attached to the jacket is also called as hood. Sapasa phana, that is also called as hood. So old sack and hood with a broom in one hand and a shovel in the other, and she had a broom. Broom, you know what is broom? Yeah, Junaid, Sarthak. Broom, jhadu, right? So she had a broom in one hand, and in the other hand she had a shovel. Shovel, spade. एक हाथ में झाड़ू, एक हाथ में फावड़ा लेके वहां से दौड़ते दौड़ते हॉल से पैर पटकते हुए आई. तो Meg asked her, what are you going to do? What in the world are you going to do? क्या करने वाली हो? जो, with a mischievous twinkle in her eyes, with a mischievous glitter in her eyes, she said, I'm going out for exercise. So mischievous, khatyal, naughty. You can write the similar, mischievous, naughty. Going out for exercise, answered Joe with a mischievous twinkle in her eyes. She has a mischievous gleam in her eyes, a naughty gleam in her eyes. And she said, going out for exercise with a spade and a broom, झाड़ू और फावड़ा हाथ में लेकर उसकी सिस्टर को बोलती है, हाँ मैं थोड़ा एक्सरसाइज करने बाहर जा रही हूँ. I should think 2 long walks this morning would have been enough. Then Meg says, we know that they are 4 sisters. So when she saw Joe with a broom in one hand and a a shovel in the other hand, she asked her where she was going, and she told her in fun, with mischievous gleam in her eyes, that she was going out for some exercise. And Meg said, I should think 2 long walks in the morning would have been enough. 2 walks in the morning would have been enough. Why you are going for exercise now? That is enough exercise. It's cold. It's cold and dull out. And I advise you to stay warm and dry by the fire, as I do, said Meg with a shiver. And Meg was shivering, right? She was shivering with cold. And she said, I should think 2 long walks this morning would have been enough. It's cold. It's cold and dull out. It's cold and dull outside. Why are you going out? I advise you stay warm, stay inside the home. Why you are going in the cold? Stay by the fire, as I do, said Meg with a shiver, and she was shivering with cold inside the hall also. never take that advice. Can't keep can't keep still all day. And not being a pussy cat, I don't like to doze off by the fire. I like I like adventures, and I'm going to find some. I like adventures, and I'm going to find some adventure for me. Right? I don't like to just sit near the fire and sleep. I don't. I don't like to be a pussy cat. Right? So I don't like to sleep near the fire like a pussy cat. I'm going to find something. I like adventure. Joe said to Meg.
Meg went back to toast her feet and read in vow, and Joe began to dig path and great energy. The snow was light and with her broom she soon swept a path all round the garden, for Beth to walk in with some came in when the sun came out and the invalid dolls needed air.
Okay,
Now the garden separated.
wait. Wait, now we will see this part. Meg went back to toast her feet and read Ivanhoe. Ivanhoe is a historical novel by Walter Scott. It's a historical novel by Walter Scott, Ivanhoe. Okay, so Meg went back to toast her feet and read Ivanhoe, and so she went inside to read the novel. And Joe began to dig paths with great energy. She started digging path because it was snow outside. So she started digging the snow and making path. So with great energy. The snow was light. So what was she digging with a shovel, with a spade? The snow. The snow was light, and with her broom, she soon swept a path all round the garden. And with her broom jhadu, right? An instrument with which we sweep the house is called broom. So with her broom, she soon swept the path all round the garden. Path, pauluat, rasta. So she swept a path. In the path there was snow. She quickly swept it with her broom, and it was light snow, so she could quickly do that. For bed to walk in when the sun come out, and the invalid dolls needed air. So for Beth to walk in when the sun came out and the invalid dolls needed air. Invalid dolls, the dolls with broken limbs. The dolls with broken limbs which Beth loves. Beth, her sister's name, right? So she cleaned the path, and after cleaning the path, she she knew that it would be her sister Beth who would walk in when the sun came out. The invalid dolls needed air. So now the gardens. Okay, dear students. So which novel was Meg going to read? Which novel was Meg going to read? Yes,
which
Smruti.
written
Ah, yes. Come on. Very good.
which written by Walter Scott.
Very good, Adarsh.
Ivan
Novel Ivanhoe, the novel
Ivanhoe.
Ivanhoe, written by Walter Scott.
Scott.
Very good, Adarsh. Okay,
Thanks, sir.
yeah, and what kind of novels does Walter Scott write? Yes, Sarthak. What kind of novels does Walter Scott write? Survi?
Historical novel.
Very good. He writes historical novels. Okay. So we saw that she went inside to toast her feet and read Ivanhoe, and her sister Jo came out, swept the path and cleaned it. Garden separated the marches. Now the garden separated the marches house from that of Mr. Lawrence. So they were neighbors. On one side there was Mr. Lawrence house, and on the other side there was March, the March house. The March means all the sisters, their surname was March. And in between the two houses there was garden, and that garden belonged to Marches. The garden belonged to the March family. So both stood. Now the garden separated the Marches house from that of Mr. Lawrence. Mr. Lawrence was a wealthy neighbor, wealthy person. Yes, continue reading, Adarsh. Everybody listen carefully.
Both stood in the suburb
Suburb.
of the city.
Suburb.
Of the city.
What's that pronunciation? See, listen. What is the pronunciation of that word? Suburb.
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 Yes.
Suburb means Upanagar. You know, Dombivli, Kandivli, Borivli. The city that develops around a main city, that is called as suburb. Okay. So Dombivli, Borivli, all these are suburbs. Okay. Upanagar. In Marathi, you can say. Yeah, continue.
Both stood in a suburb of the city, which was still country-like, with groves and lawns, large gardens, and quiet street. A low hedge parted the two estates. On one side was the old brown house, looking rather bare and shabby, robbed of the vines that in summer covered its walls and flower, which then surrounded it.
Okay,
On
wait,
the other
wait,
side.
wait, others, thank you. Now listen,
Okay,
let us see this part. So both stood in a suburb of the city, which was still country-like. It was the outside part of the city. Upanagar is also city. Okay, suburb is also city. But this suburb was still like it was still country-like. Means you would have felt that you are still in some rural area, though it was a suburban area of the city with groves and lawns. And what would make you feel that you are in a village area or rural area? The groves and the lawns, the meadows and the groves and the thick bushes. Grove means thick bushes, trees and lawns, the meadows and large gardens. They would make you feel that you were still in a countryside. It was country-like, though it was not a countryside. Countryside means rural area, village area. And quiet street. So in the villages, the streets are quiet. But here, the streets. But here, yes, here the streets were quiet. Though it was suburban area, still the streets were quiet. In the city, if you see the streets quiet, you may feel it is like village, quiet. But if you see many vehicles and crowd, you immediately feel that it is a city. And even if you see crowd in the village, you feel that it is like city, crowded. Okay. So though it was suburb, means though it was a part of a city, that developed later outside, just outside the city. It is city only, but it is called suburban area or suburb. So there was a feeling that it is also country-like because of the grove. Just a minute, someone is in waiting. Okay, no one. So large garden and quiet street. A low hedge parted. See, whenever ed comes after t, pronounces it as ed, parted, id. Okay. Many, most of the people in our country will say parted, but it is not parted. If you get ed after k, say t. Walked, 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 and not walked or not walked. Walked, t. It is pronounced as t after k. The same is developed, t, and not developed. Okay, so please keep these things in mind, students. Okay, there is a rule when to say it, when to pronounce ed as d, when to pronounce it as t, when to pronounce it as d, and when to pronounce it as id. I will tell you sometimes. We will first cover the literature syllabus, and once we get some time, we will talk. I will tell you more things about it. Yeah, you can get a few things on my blog also. If you go in Google search and just put there englishguruganesh.blogspot.in, you will reach to my blog. There also I have given in detail when to pronounce ed as id, when to pronounce it as t, and when to pronounce it as id. Okay. So developed, walked, talked, and not walked or talked. Remember. Okay. So on one side was an old brown house looking rather bare and shabby, robbed of the vines that in summer covered its walls and the flowers which then surrounded it. On the other side was a stately stone mansion. Stately stone mansion. Mansion? Mahal. Palace. Mansion. A huge house. Mansion. Like palace. Mahal Marathi Made. Okay? In Hindi Mahal. So, on one side, of the garden now, a low hedge parted the two estate. One side there was garden and Marches were living. Marches house, their garden, and a hedge. Hedge means kumpan. Kumpanachi binta. Compound wall. That is called hedge. HEDGE. Fine, students? So, a low hedge parted the two estates. The two estates were divided in two parts by a hedge wall. Hedge means the hedge can be made of wall, or it can be made of wire, iron wire. ताराचं बनलेलं असू शकतं, भिंत असू शकते. Okay, but let us say there was a hedge, and what kind of hedge was there? It's not mentioned. Maybe a wired hedge. On one side was an old brown house. On one side was old brown house. That old brown house obviously belonged to Marches. And on the other side, there was a stately, spacious mansion, and that mansion belonged to Mr. Lawrence. Okay, so looking rather, but brown house was looking rather bare and shabby. It was looking rather bare. Bare means without any cover. Khulla. Okay, it was looking bare. Bare means nude, naked, open. Okay, without any cover. And it was looking rather shabby. Shabby of poor quality. Or looking a bit, not looking that impressive there. Okay, so rather bare and shabby. Why it was looking rather poor and shabby? There was a reason. Because it was robbed of vines that in summer covered its wall and the flowers. Because the vines, it was robbed of vines. Vines means valley. Vines means valley. The thin creepers, rope-like thin plants that generally cover the wall. Those walls, those vines, those creepers, those plants were no longer there because it was winter, and in winter those plants could not exist. So those vines that in summer covered its walls and flowers, which then surrounded it. On the other side was a stately stone mansion. On the other side there was a stately, spacious, princely stone mansion. दगडाचा बनलेला महाल दुसऱ्या बाजूला दिसत होता. Because Mr. Lawrence was wealthy man. Plainly betokening every sort of comfort and luxury. And in that mansion was a sign, it was a symbol of every kind of luxury, every kind of comfort. Luxury also means comfort. Okay. So From the big coach house, so from the big coach house and well-kept grounds to the conservatory and the glimpses of lovely things, one caught between the rich curtains. So read the remaining part. Others. From on the other side was a stone mansion. Others read.
On the
Listen
other
carefully.
side was the on the other side was the stately stone mansion, plainly betokening
Just a minute, just a
every
minute.
sort of plainly betokening every sort of comfort and luxury, from the big coach house and well kept ground to the conservatory and the glimpses of lovely things one catch between the rich curtains. Yet it seems a lonely, lifeless sort of house,
Okay,
for
wait,
no
wait.
children.
Okay, just a minute, wait. Huh? First, that word conservatory. Huh? The word conservatory. Okay. So read, see it at once, conservatory. Okay. All of you. When I tell one of you, it means my instruction is for all. Remember. So betokening means a sign of. So that mansion, that stone mansion, was a symbol of comforts and luxuries. Right. So every sort of comfort and luxury from the big coach house and well kept grounds. There were well kept, well maintained grounds. There were well maintained grounds and a big coach house and a conservatory. Conservatory, a glass room outside the house, used as greenhouse too. A glass room outside the house used as greenhouse too. So there was conservatory, there was playground, and that playground was also well maintained, and there was also all sort of luxuries and a big coach house. Okay, coach house means where a coach means a carriage can be parked. A घोड़ा गाड़ी पार्क करने के लिए जो जगह रहती है, that is a coach house. Okay. So, and a glimpses of lovely things, and you can have a glimpse. Glimpse means a quick look. Glimpse, view. You can have a glimpse of lovely thing. Lovely means beautiful. You can have a glimpse of lovely things, one caught between the rich curtains. You can have a glimpse of, a view of, a look of beautiful things caught between the rich curtains. There were rich curtains on the windows and the doors, but inside the door, the curtains, you could have a glimpse sometimes when the curtain would fly away, or when the curtain would not be, when the curtain would be moved aside, you could have a glimpse of all those beautiful things. Yet it seemed a lonely, lifeless thing. Yet it seemed. So it was beautiful mansion. The mansion was beautiful, lovely, but still, all comforts were there. But still, it was lonely, lifeless sort of things, lifeless sort of house. Still, it was a lifeless sort of house. You would not feel that there is life when you see it. Okay, for no children frolicked on the lawn. You would not find any children playing, enjoying, jumping here and there. You will not find children frolicking on the lawn. You will not find children playing on the lawn. Frolicking means playing and enjoying, right? You will not find children playing on the lawn. No motherly face and no motherly loving face ever smiled at the windows. Right? No loving face, no motherly caring face ever smiled at the windows. And few people went in and out, except the old gentleman and his grandson. There were only two persons, the old gentleman and his grandson. Only these two sometimes would get in, sometimes they would get out. So only two persons, it seemed that only two persons were living there. So, dear students, now just in 1 minute, have a look at this passage. See every line. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Okay. Yes. Sarthak. If you have any doubts, you can ask. 1 minute I have given, right? Go through complete passage. Then I will ask few things. If you have any doubt, you ask. If you do not ask, I will ask. Okay?
Sir,
Yeah.
please can you tell the meaning of glimpse?
Glimpse means view. Glimpse.
Okay.
Drushya. View. Sight. A glimpse of India means a view of India. See every line, students. See every line. When done, tell me that, sir. Done. Done. Shruti, I'm waiting for your intimation. Okay. Fine. So I will ask you questions now. What is the similar of a sign of or a symbol of? Junaid, what is the similar of a symbol of, sign of? Vaishnavi, Smriti, B
Repeat
token.
the question.
Yes, repeat. Yes, Shruti.
Yeah.
What is the word? B tokening. What is it? B token. B token means sign of, a sign of, or a symbol of. Fine. What is the similar of a compound wall? Yes, Aditya, Somesh.
Hedge.
Hedge. Very
Hedge.
good. Very good. Very good. Hedge has a different meaning in share market, but here a hedge means compound wall. Okay. What is the similar of a glass room outside a house used as a greenhouse?
Conservatory.
Conservatory. That's right. Remember. Yeah, very good.
Conservatory.
Correct. And the broken limbs. Broken. So the doll with the broken limbs, which Beth loves.
Invalid dolls.
Yeah, and who was Beth? Who was Beth?
Beth is
Who is Beth? Her
Joe's sister.
Joe's sister. That's right.
George's sister.
Right. Playing happily. What's the similar of playing happily?
Frolicked.
Frolic. Good job, students. Okay. So, who were living in that mansion?
Old gentleman and grandson.
The old gentleman and his grandson were living. Yeah, in that mansion. What was the name? What was the name of the owner of that mansion? Mr. Lawrence.
Mr. Lawrence.
Okay, good job, students. Good job. Okay, what is the similar of royal or princely? What is the similar of princely?
Mansion.
Stately. Stately.
Stately.
Stately. What is the similar of apparently? Last 4 lines. Apparently. Seemed. Apparently.
Seemed.
Appeared. I'm sorry, it is appeared. And the similar can be seemed. Okay. So, we saw. What do you think? What do you find ironical in this passage, students? Is there an irony in this passage? Is there an irony in this passage? Irony म्हणजे काय? The difference between appearance and reality. The difference between what we expect and what happens is called irony. Okay. So we do something thinking that someone will become happy and that person becomes sad. So that is irony. Right? Okay. So is there any irony here? Yes? Surbhi? You can change your name from participants. Okay? Yeah, come on. Is there an irony? Yes, there is irony. When we come to know that there is a mansion and it is well equipped with all sort of luxuries, all sort of comforts, but still it had a sad look, but still it appeared lonely. Still it appeared lonely and there was no cheer. It is ironic. Because generally what we think, when there is luxury and comfort, then people should be happy. There must be joy and cheer. But contrary to our expectation, that mansion looked lonely and sad. So this is irony. This is ironical. Okay. So please note down the word irony. I-R-O-N-Y. Irony is a literary device where there is a difference between appearance and reality. There is a difference between what one expects and what happens. There is a difference between dream and reality. Okay. All right. So let us move to the next passage. Now, who would like to read? Smriti, will you read? Smriti? Second passage.
Yes.
Yeah, please read. Everyone listen carefully.
To Joe's lovely fancy, this fine house seemed a kind of enchanted palace, full of splendors and delights which no one enjoyed. She had long wanted to behold these hidden glories and to know the Lawrence boy, who looked as if he would like to be known if he only knew how to begin science
Okay.
since the
Wait. Okay. Now after 1 minute you will be logged out. You will be joining after 4 minutes. Okay, 3 minutes break will be there. If you want to drink water or want a bio break, you can come back in 3 minutes and log in with the same ID and password when you will be logged out. Okay, 3 minutes we need, because when the meeting ends, the video, whatever interaction takes place, a video is, all this meeting is converted in a video, so that needs 3 minutes. So after 3 minutes we will again continue our lesson. Fine, students? So just see this part. You said lovely. It's not lovely, it is lively. You can write the meaning of lively. Lively means cheerful and happy. To Joe's lively fancy, fancy means dream, the world of imagination, that is fancy. Please write the meaning of fancy. Fancy means dream or imagination. Lively means cheerful. To Joe's cheerful fancy, cheerful dream, this fine house seemed a kind of enchanted place. Enchanted place, attractive place. She felt this place very attractive, magical, attractive place. Joe felt it very attractive kind of place, full of splendor, glory. It was so glorious. To Joe's lively fancy, this fine house seemed a kind of enchanted place. Enchanted, magical. Enchanting, attractive. Bewitching. Akarshak, mohak. See, this house seemed to be an enchanted palace. Magical, attractive palace. Full of splendors, glory. and delights. Delight, joy, comes from Latin root deletier, means joy. She had long wanted to behold the hidden glories. She had long wanted to see the hidden glories. Hidden glories inside the mansion. She had a lot of curiosity and attraction about that mansion, that what must be there in that mansion, right? And she was curious. She wanted to behold. To behold means to see. To behold means to see. And the past tense of behold is beheld, means saw. She had long wanted to behold these hidden glories and to know the Lawrence boy. And she also wanted to introduce herself with the Lawrence boy, the grandson of the old man, the grandson of the old gentleman. A teenage girl, right? A psychology you can understand. And in this particular age, we wish that teenagers wish that they should have the peers, the friends of the same age, right? And naturally, she was also curious about that mansion and also the Lawrence boy, who looked as if he would like to be known. And from his body language, she could make out that that boy, Lawrence, the young Lawrence, wanted to be known. So, who looked as if he would like to be known. If he only knew how to begin. She was thinking that perhaps that boy wanted to be known. If he could only introduce himself to them, to her, she could feel that perhaps that boy felt that he could only introduce himself. But you know, he was a sort of shy person. Since the party, he had been more eager than ever. Since the party, since means the exact moment in the past. From the exact moment in the past till now, there are two uses of since. One, you can say since to show exact moment in the past till now. And second, you can also use since to show reason. Since he was ill, he did not come to school. Okay. So, since the party, she had been more eager than ever and had planned many ways of making friends with him. She had planned in many ways that how she would make friendship with him. But he had not been seen lately. He had not been seen recently. Lately and recently are similar, remember. L-A-T-E-L-Y म्हणजे अलीकडे. Lately आणि recently म्हणजे अलीकडचा, आत्ता आत्ताचा. Right? So, and Joe began to think he had gone away. So, he had not been seen recently and she was thinking perhaps he had gone away. When she one day spied a brown face at an upper window, looking wistfully down into their garden, where Beth and Amy were snowballing one another. But then, one day, Joe began to think that perhaps he had gone away because she had not seen him for last many days. She thought perhaps he had gone. But then, one day she was just spying. Spying means secretly trying to find out if he is visible, right? So while she was secretly trying to find out, while she was spying to find out whether he was there, she suddenly spotted a brown face at an upper window. At an upper window, she spotted a brown face, and that brown face was of Laurie, the young grandson of Mr. Lawrence, who was almost of her age, looking wistfully, and he was looking longingly. He was looking with strong desire of being known, strong desire of mixing with others, right? Wistfully means longingly, sad, thinking of the past. Here it means sad and longingly. So he was sadly looking through the upper window, looking wistfully down into their garden where Beth and Amy were snowballing each other. And that Laurie was just looking out through the upper window at her sisters who were snowballing each other. They were making balls of snow and throwing at each other, right? And he was just looking at them. Where Beth and Amy were snowballing one another. That boy is suffering for society and fun, she said to herself. And she said to herself, that boy is suffering for society and fun. That boy is suffering for society and fun. या मुलाला समाजाची आणि मजेची थोडीशी गरज आहे बिचारा. That she was thinking in her mind. She said to herself, his grandpa does not know what is good for him and keeps him shut up all alone. He needs a party of jolly boys to play with and somebody young and lively, cheerful. I have a great mind to go over and tell the old gentleman so. And she felt that his grandpa does not know what is good for him. His grandpa does not know what is good for him, what he wants, what is the desire of his mind. And he keeps him shut up all the time. All alone. He's all the time all alone. He needs a party of jolly boys. He needs a company of cheerful and happy boys. He needs a company of cheerful and happy people around him, like her, to play with. He needs a company of happy children, cheerful children who like making fun around him. Or somebody young and lively. He needs somebody young and lively. I have a great mind to go over and tell the old gentleman so. She felt she had a strong desire to go and tell the old gentleman what his grandson must be longing for. So Jo was a clever, lively girl, right? And she could understand what was going on in his mind, though she had never talked to him. And she had only secretly sometimes seen him, probably some glimpses of him. And the boy was also a shy sort of boy, right? So he would not freely talk, and his grandpa would always keep him alone in the house. Probably grandpa would not keep him alone, but he himself would not come out. He was also, probably he was a resort kind of boy, and a bit shy. But Jo was quite bold, confident, right? Okay, so dear students, quickly have a look at these last two passages in 1 minute, and every line you just have a look. Have a look at every line, and whichever line you don't understand, ask me. Okay, 1 minute I'm giving, exactly 1 minute. Start. Underline the word that you don't understand or line you don't understand. Yes. Any questions? Junaid, Chetan, Sarthak, Surbhi, Smriti, Aditya, Sania, Somesh, Shruti, Mansi. All right. If you want to ask anything, ask. Otherwise, I will ask you questions on this. Okay, what is the similar of dream? Come on, fast. What is the similar of dream or imagination?
Fancy.
Fancy.
Excellent. What is the similar of cheerfully? Similar of
Lively.
cheerfully. Lively. Excellent. What is
Lively.
That's correct. What is the verb form of lively?
Live.
Live. That's correct. What is the similar of glorious? Glorious. Line number 2. Glorious?
Splendor.
Splendors, right? It's glory actually, not glorious. Dear student, did you note the difference of spelling splendor, S-P-L-E-N-D-O-R and D-O-U-R, right? You must have noted the difference, why it is different. Can any one of you guess quickly? Why it is D-O-R and not D-O-U-R? Why it is D-O-R and not D-O-U-R? Come on, fast. Why was it neighbor, B-O-R and B-O-U-R? The same is the reason. It is D-O-R, splendor.
One is British and word and another is American native.
Very good, Sarthak. So this one is Vaishnavi, Mansi, yes, Surbi. This one is American or British?
American.
American. Excellent. What is the similar of joy? What is the similar of joy? Line number 2. Come on, fast. Line number 2 of that passage. Joy. Joys. Come on, fast. Delights. Delight means joy, right? Delightful. And the adjective is delightful. Verb is delight. Okay. And the noun also is delight. Okay. What is the similar of secret splendor? Secret splendor.
Hidden glories.
Very good. Hidden glories. Excellent. What is the similar of longingly or sad thinking of the past? Sad thinking of the past, longingly, or having strong desire of doing something but not able to do. That is called longing.
Wistfully.
Wishfully. That's right. That's right. See, longing is a strong desire that is usually unfulfilled. I see ichha, strong desire, usually unfulfilled. It may be fulfilled also, but generally it is unfulfilled. Okay, good job, students. Okay, now tell me one thing. What had Joe always wanted to behold? Come on, fast, Chetan. What had Joe? Yes? Anyone can tell, no problem.
The hidden glories of Lawrence Palace and to know the Lawrence boy.
Okay, okay. To know the Lawrence boy, the hidden glory of their mansion. Very good. Good job, Smriti. Okay. Well, since what occasion since what occasion she had been very curious to know their mansion and to introduce herself with Lawrence. Since what occasion? Since what event? Tell in one word quickly. That is
Party.
party. That's correct. Okay. What was the boy suffering for according to her? Yeah. What was the boy suffering for according to her?
For society and fun.
Very good.
Society and fun.
Okay, okay, excellent. The boy was suffering for society and fun. Very good, Somesh. Okay. Then who could not understand the boy according to her? Who could not understand the boy?
His grandpa.
His grandpa could not understand him. Yes, very good. Okay. Well, what did the boy need according to her? What did the boy need according to her? Yes, Ania. What did the boy need according to her? Aditya?
He need the companionship of jolly boys.
He need the companionship of jolly boys. That's correct. Very good, Aditya. Okay. So what is the similar of happy and cheerful? Fun-loving. Cheerful, fun-loving, jolly. Cheerful, fun-loving.
Cheerful, that is lively.
Sorry.
Yeah, jolly is also similar kind of word. Fun-loving, happy and cheerful. Okay, jolly. Are you jolly? Yes, you can say he is very jolly person. Likes to make fun and likes to be happy and cheerful. Okay, jolly person. Okay, so a small homework, students. Last time also I think I had given you something. Today I will not give you a homework more than 5 lines. Okay, please note down. Please note down. That boy is suffering for society and fun. She said to herself, make a bracket to this part. Okay, if you have a textbook. That boy is suffering for society and fun. She said to herself, change this into indirect speech. Just write IND there in the text. Make bracket and write IND. His grandpa does not know what is good for him. Make it affirmative. Just write AFF there. You can write in notebook properly. Affirmative. His grandpa does not know what is good for him. Okay, his grandpa does not know what is good for him and keeps him. Just a minute. Don't do that now. He needs a party of jolly boys. He needs a party of jolly boys. Make it negative, giving opposite meaning. He needs a party of jolly boys. And I have a great mind. I have a great mind to go over and tell the old young man so. Add a question tag. I have a great mind to go over and tell the young man so. Or just you do the first part. I have a great mind to go over and okay, this is for question tag and the full sentence till so. Use infinitive verb in this sentence. Use infinitive verb in this sentence. Infinitive verb means the verb with to. Okay, I hope you know. Shall I tell you the answer? At the place of and, if you take to tell is an infinitive verb. Okay, so I have a great mind to go over to tell the old gentleman so. Okay, so this is infinitive. Means and tell is a finite verb and to tell became infinite verb. So in this way, two clauses you can convert into one by converting one finite verb into infinitive by taking to before it. And thus, if there are two clauses only, one is converted in infinitive, and that way also sentence become a simple sentence. We are not discussing grammar today, so but just try these sentences at home. I will tell you the answers later on, maybe in our next class, or you can just post me, write and post me. I will, if there are any corrections, I will give you the feedback on WhatsApp only. Okay. So bye students. Thank you for your active participation. You are doing well. Keep it up, and I'm sure you will excel in English. Thank you. Have a nice day.